So I think most of us are here. I think all of us are in. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Rohit.
Yes,
Are you also able to see my screen?
Oh, yes.
yes, yes.
Perfect. Just give me one more second. Okay. Now let us go to the metrics part. So now what we mean by metrics here is what are the different kinds of mathematical, sorry, I haven't started the recording. I think we've started.
Already there, yeah.
Yeah, it's already perfect. So now when we are we going to calculate which is a good crypto and how do we do valuations that where this crypto price is likely to go in the future. So these are some of the metrics that we use and I'll briefly explain them to you. One is called return on investment, very simple to calculate. Take a start point, which could be the beginning of a year or a beginning of any last year, and till today, suppose you had bought a crypto on the 1st of Jan 2021. Today, what is the price and what would have been the percentage return on investment? So that is one way in which we can compare all the cryptos to see which has done the best in a particular year. Then we have volatility. Now, we keep hearing about that cryptos are very volatile. But volatility is actually a mathematical concept which can be calculated. So we can see the daily price of a crypto, calculate the movement of a particular each day, and then use a statistical formula to calculate that volatility and then compare along different cryptos. Now, I'm not going to go into it too much in detail here, but I conduct regular webinars on these concepts of metrics. So I will let you know next week also I'm going to do one. Just feel free to drop in. There we only talk about metrics and there I go into the actual mathematical formula and how those things work. Clear? Any questions so far? Yes, no, all clear? Can someone just punch in a yes? Yeah, perfect.
All clear.
Perfect. So volatility we've understood. Then we have the concept called a Sharpe ratio. Very interesting. So there's this Nobel Prize winner called Sharpe. He came out with this concept. We compare the risk of a crypto as against a risk-free investment or a risk-free asset. And there is only one financial asset in the world which is considered zero risk. Any idea which one that is? Government
Or
security.
treasury bonds, yeah.
Treasury bond. Because if you are in India, then you can never presume that the government of India will go bankrupt. Or you are in the US, you cannot presume that the US government will go back because they issue the legal tender. So they are considered absolutely foolproof. So we consider treasury bonds or whatever debt taken by the government to be the world's safest investment. Against that, we then compare assets and we compare their risk. And that ratio is called the Sharpe ratio. I know it sounds a little complicated, but in a simple way, this is what it is. In the webinar, we'll go deeper into it, how to calculate. Then another very important thing we look at is open, high, low, close prices. So, if you have ever seen crypto charts, have you noticed there are those green and red candles kind of things, rectangles? Have you ever noticed those? Those, what we call candlesticks, are showing you for a particular period. What did the crypto price start? What was the highest in that period, the lowest, and the closing? So let's say we are making this chart for an hourly basis. So at 11 o'clock, what was the price of the crypto? From 11 to 12, during that 1 hour, what was the highest? What was the lowest? And what was the closing price? So this OHLC we can calculate for 1 year at a time, 5 years, 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute, anything. It's a very important statistic because it shows us which direction the crypto is currently moving in. Then another very interesting one is called holder statistics. So as you know, crypto is all about people holding it. So we can measure and see who are the whales. You must have heard of the concept of a whale in crypto. Any idea what whale means?
the people who are holding like a huge amount of
So
cryptocurrency.
usually we say 1% of that entire crypto, or there are different formulas. So on the blockchain, we can see who they are and we can see what they are doing. We can see what are the top 10% wallets doing, 5% doing. So when we notice that a whale has moved a lot of his crypto to the exchange, what is the signal that it sends us? What do you think? So crypto whale
That they're going to sell.
he
Liquidity.
is going to sell. So as long as it was in his cold wallet, we know he's not selling. Now when he brings it to the crypto, we know that over the next few hours or days, he may sell. So that sends a signal to the market. When they take the money out of the exchange and take it into cold wallets, it is setting a signal. They are withdrawing. So the prices start to move upward. So these are the kind of things that holder statistics show us. Clear? Any questions? Okay. Then we have three kinds of supply. So every crypto has a certain quantity in the market. Circulating supply means what is the number of that crypto in the market available for common people to buy and sell. That is called circulating. Maximum is in the lifespan of that crypto, what is the maximum that can ever be issued. And total means how much has been issued till today minus how much has been burnt. We call that as the total supply. So let's take an example. In Bitcoin's case, we know 21 million is there. Now 21 million is what? Circulating, maximum or total?
Maximum.
Maximum.
Absolutely correct. Circulating is whatever is right now about 18 million something. And in Bitcoin's case, there is no concept of burning. So circulating is always equal to total. But in Binance, they burn coins. Ethereum, they burn it. So circulating will be different and total will be different. And in Ethereum's case, there is no maximum. They can issue unlimited Ethereum. In Binance's case, they started with 200 million. Every 3 months, they burn some till finally they will be left with 100 million. So like this, we follow the supply of different cryptos. Clear? Any questions? Okay. Then market capitalization, simple. Circulating supply multiplied by the current price. So that represents that today, if you go to the crypto market and buy over 100% of a crypto's available stock, how much money would it take? That is called market capitalization. And then when you add the market cap of all the cryptos, you get the overall crypto cap, which as of today is about 3 trillion. And for each also we can calculate separately. Then we have fully diluted market cap. What this means, if all the crypto was to be available in the market, multiplied that by the price today is called fully diluted market cap. So what would be the formula? Would you take circulating, maximum or total?
Total supply.
Maximum.
Maximum. So market cap is equal to circulating into price. Fully diluted market cap is equal to maximum into price. Then comes volume, very important one. It represents how much quantity of the crypto is changing hands in a 24-hour period. You remember in India when there was demonetization, a lot of people said the economy has slowed down. Why do we say that? Because the purpose of money is to flow. It is to change hands. If money doesn't move, the economy contracts. So during demonetization, for a short period of time, there was no currency note. I mean, most of the notes were gone. So they say the economy shrunk. So volume represents how much of a crypto is changing hands on a 24-hour basis. And the more it is, the better. It shows you that that crypto is actually being used more or being traded more. So you will see that some of the highest volumes are in stable coins, where almost 100% or more of their market cap changes hands every single day. And obviously for others, it is a much lower. Velocity is again a concept considering the market cap and volume. And finally, in DeFi yesterday, we learned about total value locked. Very important concept. How much of money is locked in a particular protocol? Like we can say Uniswap. How many people have created liquidity pools? How many billions of dollars are in it? That can be a very good indication of whether it is a good project or not, and whether we should be part of it, and whether its native crypto could go up. So that is the concept of total value locked. Is all this clear? Any questions?
Yeah, Rohas, just wanted to understand this fully diluted market cap again.
Sure. So circulating supply, which is in the market today, multiplied by price is called market cap. It's how much money you would need to buy out the entire crypto today, right? But we know that in the future there could be more of that crypto coming. So today there are 18 million Bitcoin, but there will be 21 someday. So if we take the 21 million as the final value and multiply it by the price today, that is called fully diluted market cap. It means when in the future the entire supply of that crypto is in the market, then at today's price, what would be the market cap? And we call it fully diluted market cap.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so these MVRV ratios, so we have market cap to volume ratios. Lots of such ratios are there, and that is why, like I said, I do a separate class on that, because then we need to go deeper and see how these formulae work. So if you guys hop into that class, I will explain this concept in more detail. Otherwise, any questions? Are the metrics clear to you?
Oh, yes, Rohas.
Okay. A request is to share the second bit of the video. Yeah, I'll be doing it. So this particular
yes.
one, metric.
Yesterday's video also, you forgot to share the part after you asked us to
Is
reconnect.
that so? Okay, I'll make sure I do that. I must have skipped my mind. I'll do that too.
Thanks.
Perfect.
And I had another question.
Hmm.
A recommendation for easy readings, because it's very hard for me to understand the readings about ESTCA.
Let me do one thing. Let me again disconnect and again reconnect so that this video is not lost. Okay. So just I'm disconnecting and I'm immediately going to start.